Podcast day. Full episode time. Friday.
Hey, Kara.
Hey, Megan.
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
Discussion group. No, it's not.
Who knows? Listen, it's the first day of school. We're a little delirious.
We're losing our
We've had a lot of coffee.
I've had 2 hours of sleep. Remember, I got up to make cinnamon rolls at 4.
She had to get here at 4:30 in the morning to make 99, right?
Yep.
Cinnamon rolls.
Yep.
Let me tell you, if you've never had the cinnamon rolls at Coffee and Oak and Maid,
delicious.
Delicious.
Delicious. I had water in my mouth and I was trying to swallow at the same time.
Delicious.
Delicious.
They're so good.
They're so good.
So good.
So good.
I gotta eat. Anyway, we're here.
Talking to you about the Giggling Grandma.
The Giggling Grandma. That just reminded me of the video. The Giggling Grandma, you say? Patreon video that came out yesterday.
Oh, so many giggles.
If you haven't
giggled with us or at us,
I think
please.
it's the funniest thing I've ever done in my life.
Hop over because we are still laughing at ourselves. Because we're so funny.
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, again, I know we already talked about it in the last episode, but oh my God, it's so funny.
Go listen.
I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we do.
Yeah. Because we're great.
So Kara's got the story today.
On Nannie Doss.
The Giggling Grandma.
The Giggling Grandma.
Does it sound scary?
Oklahoma's Jolly Widow.
Oh, that sounds a little creepy.
It's a jolly little lady.
The Giggling Grandma in the context of Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery, it's a little creepy.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it. I don't like her that much, though, but, you know, we don't usually like these people we're telling the story about.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's the witch stories.
Yeah, we love those. Okay, so Nancy was born in Blue Mountain, Alabama, to a James and Lou Hazel. She was one of 5 kids. She had 1 brother, 3 sisters. She and her mother didn't like the dad very much. He was super controlling, and he had a nasty streak.
I think it's funny that it's like she and her mother.
Yeah, the mom, and she knew that the mom didn't like him.
Right, which is like...
The mom just ran her mouth about him all the time.
Don't do that to your kids.
No, don't. Even if
you have problems with your husband, fine. Or your wife, fine. But don't
even
bring your kids
baby
into
mama,
it.
baby daddy. Don't talk smack about them.
No.
Just, you can do it when the kids aren't around. That's totally fine. But just...
It doesn't need to be their drama.
Leave the kids out of it.
It brings them more stress than you think.
Yes. She also was super unhappy as a kid. It says she was a pretty bad student, but this was mainly because the dad would make them work on the farm and skip school. But one time when they were visiting relatives in southern Alabama on a train, she hit her head on a metal bar in the seat, or on the seat in front of her when they came to a sudden stop. So she started having like really bad headaches, blackouts, and suffered from depression. But at that time, they didn't know. It was 1905. They didn't know.
Yeah.
Or not 1905.
And those head
She
injuries.
was born.
Right.
Yeah, around that time. So
the head injury thing is
yeah.
rough.
So her favorite hobby was to read her mother's romance novels and magazines.
Seems maybe a little inappropriate for her age.
Just a little love story here and there. And it says that when the girls were teenagers, their dad was super strict. He told them they weren't allowed to wear makeup or attractive clothing. And he also said he was trying to prevent them from being molested because that's what men are going to do.
Good Lord.
Yeah. He also said no dances, no social events whatsoever. So obviously she got married when she was 16. She met the guy it was Charlie Bragg's. She met him at a linen factory. They both worked there. And her father was super happy about the marriage. Weird. 4 months after they started dating.
I guess because then it's not his problem anymore,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, and he was an only child to an unmarried mother. So at that time, that was like not...
Yeah.
That was kind of frowned upon.
That was rough, yeah.
And his mother insisted on living with them. So that was rough. She said, I married as...
I have nothing to say.
Yeah. She said, I married as my father wished. And in 1921, it was to a boy I only knew. She said, I only knowed about 4 or 5 months, who had no family other than a mother who was unwed and who had taken over my life completely when we were married. She never seen nothing wrong with what he'd done, but she'd take like spells.
So she
wouldn't let my own mother stay all night. That's what she said. It's spelled like this, guys.
Nat.
She's from Alabama.
So her mother-in-law, number one, was an unwed mother with only him. Yes. So you know that she was very much
that's her baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she moves in with him and his new wife.
Yes.
And then he does no wrong.
Yeah.
And I like how she's like, but she has these spells.
She has these spells.
I'm sure she does, where she's like, oh, no.
Son, take care of me.
Can you ignore your wife? We don't need her. I'm the main woman in your life.
Bake me a meal.
I don't know how I would handle it if I had a son.
Fetch me a footstool. Fetch my romance novels. No, that was her mom.
Yeah, that was her mom. But still.
Fetch me your wife's romance novels.
I don't know how I'd feel if I had a son.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's hard for me to imagine. Yeah. We both have two girls.
That's weird. So it says that obviously the mom took a lot of his attention, Charlie's attention.
By design, I'm sure. Yes. That's what she wanted.
And it says Nanny would say that Nancy would say that it prevented her from doing things she wanted to do. I can't do nothing I want to do in these parts here.
Got my husband and his mom to take care of.
How's your mama?
That would have to make you crazy. Because then, if she ever gets in an argument with him, there's his mom over here being like, no, he's right.
No, that's my baby. Don't you talk about my son that way.
Oh my God.
It's blasphemous words. Ugh. Okay. But they did somehow have 4 daughters. They found time to get it on to have 4 daughters between 23 and 27. But they were super stressed, and he started drinking and smoking and became addicted to it. And obviously they were unhappy, and they both thought the other person was cheating on the other one. And so he would disappear for days on end. In 27, they suddenly lost 2 of their middle daughters to suspected food poisoning. So they passed.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was like, this is really weird. I feel like Nancy did it, maybe. So instead of like calling the police or like taking his kids to protect them from this woman, the other 2 girls, he just left, and he took the oldest daughter, Melvina, with him, but he left the baby Florine with her. And also, wait, his mom died around this time too. It's weird. Real weird.
So, wait.
Yep.
Okay.
4 kids.
2 of them died the same
mother-in-law. Mm-hmm. 2 of the kids died. Yep.
And he is just like, I think you did it, but I'm just gonna.
But I gotta go. I'm taking the oldest, but I think I'm gonna leave the baby here.
Wouldn't you want the person who killed your kids to like be punished in some way?
Yeah. No, she gets to live.
And also, so did he leave and then his mother died? Surely he didn't leave his mother.
No.
Because if he did, his mother died.
It says his mom died around the same time the girls did. But that's not suspicious.
No, he's just gonna.
And mom was just.
And he leaves the baby.
Mom would
he
take
leaves the most vulnerable one.
Mom would take him spells.
She had one of them spells.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Nancy decided to take a job in a cotton mill to support Florine and herself.
She went from having 4 kids to 1.
Yeah.
Infant.
And no husband. And they were still married, but he just pieced out. Mm. He just said, I gotta go. But listen, in the summer of 28, he decided to come back. But he still had Melvina with him. Don't worry about her. She's
the oldest daughter.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Okay.
But he brought another woman who was a divorcee, and she had her own child. So then
he brought his new girlfriend back to meet his current wife.
Great. And so then Nancy was like, maybe that was like his protection, because Nancy was like, I guess it's time for a divorce now.
Maybe he thought she's used to having another woman in my life because my mother was here all the time.
So meet my
new other woman.
New other woman that's going to raise your child. But Nancy decided to move in with her mom, and she took both the girls with her. So now he's got this new woman and her kid.
Gosh, man, I bet Melvina was super screwed up. Because her 2 sisters died, and she gets yanked away from her mom. Uh-huh. And then now she comes back, and now her dad's leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and he said, the article says that he would always just be like, I left her because I was terrified of her.
But I was fine with leaving my kids.
Yeah, why would you leave the kids if you were terrified of her? Like, I get the court side with the moms, but No.
And also, he never reported to the police that he thought she killed the 2 girls.
Mm-hmm. So listen, she started living in Aniston. And she...
Like Jennifer?
Yeah, with Jennifer. She started living with Jennifer Aniston. She'd say, "Hey, Jen, how's it going today? I got some arsenic and Old Lace for you." Okay, so she started reading true romance again, and she started looking into the Lonely Hearts columns that men would write into.
Mm.
She found Robert, who went by Frank Harrelson, who's a 23-year-old factory worker from Jacksonville. He started sending her romantic poetry, and so she decided to send him a cake. How does one mail a cake back then?
I don't know, but if you want to woo me, send me food.
In 1929, how did one mail a cake?
I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah, bake me food.
Yeah, I don't want flowers.
Bake
I don't
me,
want
cook
poetry.
me, grill me, any kind of food. I'm a...
Brownies.
Yeah. I am a big, you want to cook some seafood on the grill? That sounds amazing.
No.
That's me.
I don't want seafood. My favorite dessert is a chocolate chip cookie. Like homemade.
Yeah.
None of that Kroger bakery crap.
Have you had my oatmeal chocolate chip molasses cookies, the double doozies?
No.
Have you not had these? I've had them at the coffee shop.
I don't know.
I
had to stop coming to the coffee shop every
because
Saturday.
all the baked goods.
Megan
has a gluten allergy.
But, okay, so chocolate chip cookie.
Uh-huh.
Or like a really great sandwich.
So I need to make you double doozies for your birthday with orange icing.
I mean,
and eyeballs on them.
You and I are already forever. You don't have to woo me.
Yeah, this is very true.
You've got me.
I've got you whipped. Okay, so they got married in 1929, and she was 24, 2 years after her divorce from her last husband. So they lived together in Jacksonville. And she took her 2 surviving daughters with her. But guess what? After only a few months of being married, she figured out he's an alcoholic. Yeah, and he had a criminal record for assault.
And the last guy was an alcoholic too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That became an addiction. But his mama was okay with it.
Yeah, well.
But the marriage lasted 16 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm surprised he got to live that long.
I know. 16 years pass, and Melvina, the oldest daughter, gives birth to a son, Robert Lee Haynes, in 43. Then a couple years later, she has another baby, and her mom comes to help her. She had a really painful delivery, and she ended up having a baby boy, another boy, but the baby died soon after that. And she said... Melvina was like, I was super groggy, exhausted, but I thought I saw Mom stick a hat pin into the baby's head.
Oh my God.
And she just was like, she told her sisters, she was like, I don't know, but I thought this happened. And the sisters were like, yeah, we noticed her holding a pin, but Mom said the baby was dead. So the doctors had zero explanation for the baby's death. And after this, she started dating a soldier. Melvina did, and the mom hated him. So she got into it with the mom. Melvina decided to go visit her father because she was fighting with the mom. And she was like, I need to leave Robert here. Robert was, I think, 2 around the time. She was like, I'm leaving him with you. I'm going to go stay with Dad for a few days. Like, I cannot handle this.
Oh, no.
And while he was with Grandma, he died on July 7th, 1945. They said the diagnosed death was asphyxia from unknown causes.
Doesn't that mean strangled?
Yes. And she took $500 life insurance. She claimed $500 life insurance that she had taken out on him. Grandma did.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So she has killed both of Melvina's children.
Uh-huh. So when World War II was at its end, her second husband of 16 years, Nancy's second husband of 16 years, was celebrating. And he was a heavy drinker, so he raped her. The following day when she was in her rose garden, she found his whiskey jar buried in the ground. And she was like, he raped me because of this whiskey jar. I'm going to show him. Put rat poisoning in the whiskey jar. And he died a very painful death that evening.
This one doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
It sounds bad to say, but I mean,
yeah,
if he raped her.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about the criminal record for assault that he had.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
does that...
Yeah, does it include...
Was
yeah.
he... I mean, he raped her.
Was it domestic violence? Yeah.
I don't care if she was his wife. You don't get to rape
It's
her.
not consent.
Mm-mm.
Just because there's a ring on it doesn't mean there's consent.
Mm-mm.
Never. Okay.
But also, I mean, then she murdered...
She's a murderer.
I'm very conflicted about that one.
Yeah.
Because she did just murder her 2 grandchildren.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel... Man, she's a messed up human being.
And 2 of her children.
Oh my God. And the mother-in-law.
And yeah.
And, okay. Her first husband got to live though, right? Yeah. Her first husband lived.
Yeah, because he ran away and divorced her.
Mm-hmm.
Met that other lady. But listen, she gets married a 3rd time.
Okay.
She was
Seems great.
Yeah. She found this guy when she was traveling to Lexington, North Carolina. His name's Arlie Lanning. She married him within 3 days of meeting him through, guess.
What's the Lonely Hearts.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He was an alcoholic and a womanizer, obviously. She turned out to be the one that would leave home, though, like disappear days on end. But when she was at home, she was like the best housewife ever.
Do we know what she was doing?
She would wait on him hand and foot. Well, probably sleeping
killing
around.
other people. Oh,
sleeping around.
Maybe murdering other people.
Yeah, she could have been. We don't know.
I don't know. Like, I feel like her dad set her up to hate men.
Oh, for sure.
And then being obsessed with the romance novels gives you this like
unhealthy obsession with what
relationship,
what she thinks relationships should be,
and like, especially where she only knew that guy for a few days.
Yeah,
of course, it's all like great and
honeymoonish.
The first 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But then her dad like taught her that men are evil. Like they're going to molest you. Don't do anything to look pretty.
Yep.
Don't do that to your kids.
Yeah. So then she got tired of waiting on him hand and foot. So then he all of a sudden died of what they said was heart failure. And then, but listen, the whole town, even though they had just met and just got married soon after meeting, the whole town was like, oh my gosh, Nancy, are you okay? Like they were at his funeral, like, honey, what can we do for you? That we're so sorry this happened.
That's a
this
normal
is ridiculous
response from nice people.
That this happened. Yeah. But then suddenly their house burned down.
Yeah. The house she was living in?
Yeah. Yeah. It was left to Arlie's sister, but Nancy ended up getting insurance money out of it, and she left North Carolina. But she didn't leave until his elderly mother died in her sleep.
Why'd she kill her?
I don't know.
Like, I don't even understand.
Like, this mom didn't even have time to get in the way.
Yeah, they weren't
together long enough.
See, this makes it seem like... So some of these, I feel like, okay, she hates men. There's some
deep-rooted
sort of
hatred
thing
for it. But then they're moms, too.
It's almost like she just wanted to kill.
Yeah.
But also, and the grandchildren. Why?
Yes. Yeah, why? And her children.
And, like, she let the first grandchild live
for
at
2
least
years.
for a couple years,
Yeah.
but killed the other one right away. Like, what?
What is happening? Yeah. Yep. So it says that she ended up moving to her sister Dovey's home. Dovey. But then soon after that, her sister became bedridden. Like right after she got there. And then she died.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Squishable. So then guess she got married for a 4th time. This time though, she was like, I'm tired of reading these articles. I'm going to do them. She joined the Diamond Circle Club looking for another man. And she met Richard Morton. Another man. He was of Emporia, Kansas.
I'm going to find me a husband.
I'm going to find me a fine man.
I'm just saying, as bad as social media is, and we all hate Facebook, if Facebook had been around, she would not have.
No.
This would not have happened.
No, everybody
get married 4 times.
What?
No. She would have had a best friend who'd be like, just give me 3 seconds.
Guys,
or he would have had a best friend. Just give me 3 seconds.
Give me 3
or
seconds.
A sister who would have tracked all this down.
Yeah. He didn't have a drinking problem though.
Oh.
Or he wasn't really
well,
much.
That's new.
Yeah. But he was a womanizer. But before she could poison him, she ended up poisoning her mom.
Her own mom?
Because her mom came to live with them. And then 3 months after poisoning mom, she killed him.
She is consistent.
There is that. Yeah. There's the moms. Moms are involved. Men are involved. So we got, I guess since his mom wasn't there, she got to kill hers.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. So then she meets Samuel Doss of Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1953. But he was a clean-cut church-going man. Oh. And he did not like her romance novels.
He was an alcoholic. Or a womanizer.
No.
As far as we know.
So she was like, you ain't coming for my romance novels. You ain't coming for my...
I need these.
My Lonely Hearts Club. You ain't coming for none of that. So then all of a sudden he's admitted to the hospital with flu-like symptoms. Yeah. So the doctor was like, well, he's got a severe digestive tract infection, but we're going to treat him. He got better in the hospital, so they released him on October 5th. But then she killed him that evening.
Oh, my God. God. Like the day he got home from the hospital.
Yeah, and then she immediately rushed to collect his 2 life insurance policies that she took out on him.
Now she's just getting greedy.
Yeah, she is.
Hasty.
Yep. It's like H.H. Holmes. Yeah. She's the woman version of H.H. Holmes, but she didn't have torture rooms that we knew of. So his doctor was like, I'm sorry, I sent him home with a stomach infection. Like,
right, how is he dead now?
This is weird. So he ordered an autopsy, and the autopsy revealed a huge amount of arsenic in his system. So then she's arrested. She was called the Jolly the Jolly Widow by many because her cheerful disposition. And so it says after several weeks of investigation into the death of Sam Doss, the Oklahoma police had enough evidence to arrest her for possibly other murders too. Oh. So when she went to face her interrogators in 1954, she laughed at the accusations and she would say, "My conscience is clear. I married these men because I loved them." She told the detectives, "I have never poisoned anyone." She said she read a lot of love story magazines and her favorite television programs are of Amour.
Amour? That's Amour.
That's Amour. She favored the sophisticated sound of the word and they were just like, she's lost her damn mind. Like,
it really...
she said, "I'm sure I'll find my perfect mate yet." And she told officers this while they're interrogating her. It says, through the night into the early morning, 2-man teams, they questioned the Jolly Widow.
Well, I'm sure once they started looking into it, and they're like, wait, are you telling me that every husband she's ever had has died?
Yeah.
Mysteriously?
And her,
and look at these other deaths around her.
Grandkids.
And the mothers.
This is getting weird. They said that during her interviews, she would start to remove her horn-rimmed glasses, and she would say, "I'm not near or farsighted." She would say that she only wore them for her headaches. She said, "I've had terrible headaches all my life, or rather from the time I was 7. That was when the train hit the buggy I was riding in, and I was thrown out." But I thought she hit her head, so I don't know what she's elaborating a little bit. Yeah. They said the smiling suspect never once lost her composure and wore out 4 teams before they gave up for the night. I mean, of course she did. She had 5 husbands she killed.
Yeah, you'd have to get the point, especially if she's just always laughing and smiling. It would just be like, I cannot with you.
Yeah,
somebody else take this.
So while they were resting, newspapers and wire services spread the word that she was being questioned in at least 1 or possibly 2 deaths caused by poisoning. So sunrise happened. Oklahoma police the phone was jumping off the hook. More and more evidence started coming in against her. Stories of the men she had been married to who had died, the sisters that died in her care, death of her 2 young daughters, death of her own mother. And they were like, what the heck is happening?
Yeah.
It says, apparently anything or anyone that annoyed Arsenic Nanny was sure to have a death warrant signed with their name on it.
I'm sure after she did it a few times and just kept getting away with it, it would get easier and easier, right? Just well, here's another problem I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Instead of just dealing with your problems.
Dealing with the problems. So then they were like, all right, Nanny. Like, they slide the papers across the table. They were like, we got something against you. So it says sometimes during the next 7 hours, she faltered and at times self-consciously giggled. Said, I lied about it. At least she weakened and admitted that she had poisoned Sam Doss. She said he had begun to annoy her shortly after their marriage. She stated she felt sorry for him when she should have felt sorry for herself. I don't know what I was getting into. She said some of the little things he had annoyed her with was having to go to bed at dark, and he wouldn't let her. She said he wouldn't let me have a television set or radio, even a fan in the house. And she said she quoted him, I've been a Christian man all my life, and you're going to be a Christian woman. You don't need a radio or television.
Can you imagine your husband telling you when to go to sleep? Sun's down. Time to go to bed.
Goodbye
Can you
now.
imagine?
Goodbye now. She said, this got on my nerves. She said so bad she put an inch of rat poisoning in his coffee. She apparently overestimated the dose, causing him to retch so violently it saved his life. That's a lot.
Oh, so she meant she didn't do the right dose because he lived.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Afterwards, she was nursing him back to health and stated that he was as mean as ever while she was nursing him back to health. So she poisoned him again and he died. She said, I was going to nurse you back to health, but now you're being a complete jerk.
You think he would have noticed, you know what I mean? When he drank the coffee, you think he would have known that she was the one who had poisoned him?
Yes.
And so he would not be mean to her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they go on to question her. She claimed to have met husband number 4, Richard, in Birmingham at the bus station. He was a 69-year-old native of Kansas. And then she said his reason for death is he'd been making me mad, shining up to other women. Shining up to other women and such.
So she just instead of dealing with conflict, she was like, I don't like confrontation. I'm just going to do murder instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confrontation makes me anxious, but I'll just kill him.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. So then they kept throwing all this evidence at her, and she confessed to the murder of husband number 3, Arlie, who was the resident of Lexington, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. It says that her brow was darkened with one of her infrequent frowns when she recalled this one. She said, this marriage was the longest of all 5 years. He crossed the fatal line in 52. He was a womanizer. He started running with other women. She said she poisoned him. She said, now my conscience is clear.
It wasn't the longest of all, though, because she had the 16-year one. Maybe the 16-year one was the whole relationship, not just the marriage.
Right, yeah. And then she started admitting to, everybody else's. She just kept saying all these things like womanizer, all this stuff. She's for the,
Free Britney, hashtag.
Yes, yes. So she said about one of the husbands, I found out that he was once a jailbird and a drunkard. You didn't find this out before you married him because you probably were only with him, the 3 months? Was that the one?
I mean, you don't put that in your Lonely Hearts ad.
Yeah. She said, one Sunday I was at my mother's and Frank's brother showed up stating that Frank wanted to see me. Frank had been out all night the night before drinking. Said she went with her brother to the edge of town where she found him passed out from too much to drink. After driving him home, helping him inside, she states, he wanted me to go to bed with him, and I refused. He said, my God, woman, I may not be here next Sunday to go to bed with. After thinking about what he said, I went and got whiskey bottle out of the flour bin in the kitchen and poured the poison into it. I thought, I'll just teach him a lesson.
Good Lord.
Yep. She said the next morning the bottle was empty and Frank was sick all week. She said by Sunday he was dead. He said he called it. Mm-hmm. He said, I may not be here Sunday to be in bed with.
And he wasn't.
He wasn't. She made sure of it. So he was dead then. They said, well, how's your conscience now? She said, clear.
They deserved it.
They deserved it.
They was shining up to other women.
Yep. She said, you can dig up all the graves in the world and you won't get anything more on me.
Well, do they need anything more? Like you just confessed to all of these.
Uh-huh. So yeah. She just was wild. So yeah, she ended up dying of leukemia in the hospital ward of Oklahoma State Penitentiary in 1965. They wouldn't give her the death penalty because she was a woman. So she remained in prison until she died.
It's so weird that they wouldn't give her the death penalty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what being a woman has to do with it.
Yeah.
You've murdered multiple people, but you're a woman.
Yeah.
So.
And it said that she would like just like have her coffee in interrogation and like in the prison and just be like giggling about it, about the stories. She showed them a lesson.
Is this a thing where like,
so she's giggling
like
Granny.
women, even women who clearly murder multiple people are just too, I don't know, what, like it's awful to put them to death for it?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
I don't get it.
It's weird.
Weirdos.
Giggling Granny.
Giggling Granny, Oklahoma's jolly widow.
What can we learn from this?
Be careful who you write to in your Lonely Hearts columns. Don't accept cakes from ladies you just met.
Don't marry someone you don't know.
Even if the cake is good, get it. Get it. Get it.
Yeah. Well, there we go. The Giggling Granny.
The Giggling Granny, guys.
Thank you for that story.
You're welcome. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's also, it just amazes me how much she kept getting away with it. But I guess back then it would have been easy to do, especially because it seems like she kind of kept moving around and marrying men from different parts of the country.
Yeah. They're all them Southern folk, though. I just love it when there's quotes in there that you can tell that's the accent.
Yeah.
Because that's my favorite to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't note it. I didn't know nothing about none of this. And his mama had them spells. Ugh. All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you all so much.
Feel free to look us up on Instagram, the Facebook group, and everywhere. If you go to the
things
link in our bio of Instagram, it has links to everything else.
Literally a link to all of our stuff.
Yeah. Patreon,
Facebook
podcast
group.
Store, Facebook group.
Whatever. Oh, yeah, podcast store. You all are buying all the merch, and I'm loving it.
Me too.
I can't
I'm
wait.
excited.
Hey,
tag us.
No, that was, I was about to say, you all need to tag us in pictures of your shirts and with your cups and all the things that you're getting.
And if you're just someone who's like, I don't want to post a picture of myself on social media for whatever reason, that's okay. Yeah. You can just send it to us.
Yeah, send it to us. We won't share it, but we want to.
I just love seeing it.
Celebrate with you all.
Also, we get to talk about this later, but I thought starting in October for the fall and for Halloween or whatever.
Megan's birthday.
My birthday month. We could release like a new round of t-shirts.
Yes.
And I've already got ideas for them. I'm really excited about it. So we'll be retiring some of the designs that we have now and bringing in new ones and like new colors and stuff like that. So, and some cooler weather stuff. So excited. I hope you guys are excited.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.